Hello and welcome back to the stream. It's Spooky Sunday, and I hope you're having a spooky Sunday wherever you are in the world. And if it's not Sunday where you live, well, I don't know what to tell you. Move to a better time zone because we get the weekend before you, we get the new year before you. It's cool. All the cool kids are doing it. All the cool kids are in the future, and the future is now, I guess. I don't know. Look, I have a fever. I didn't sleep much last night, so yeah. What are we gonna do? Probably nothing. All right. Let's look at some spooky things. How am I feeling? Yeah, I'm still pretty under the weather. I always am, I guess, but a little more feverish and gibberish than usual. Let's look at haunted places in Victoria, because although I am a New South Welsh, apparently people find New South Welsh very fun. It is the grammatically correct term for somebody that originates from the state of New South Wales, but seem to excite some people, so we'll continue saying it. However, I am not a Victorian, but I do reside in the state of Victoria, and I have for some time. I am quite enculturated. I even watch AFL. Yes, we are looking at true creepy experiences, and yeah, it's creepy. The Addams Family. I can't click. They're creepy and they're poopy. I only remember the schoolyard version, and it has the R word in it. All right, 10 most haunted places in Victoria. Oh, Scowy. It's a skeleton man. Ooh.
A land of rolling hills, gold rush towns, and coastline that looks like the edge of the world. But beneath its charm,
it's literally the edge of the world. The next stop is Antarctica. And I know Tasmania's there, but like, apart from wombats, what have you done for me, Tasmania? What have you ever done for me besides cute wombats? I ask you that. The answer is nothing. Screw you. Screw you, Tasmania.
Shadows linger where sunlight fades. Old asylums, theaters, and colonial mansions hold with.
He spelt theaters wrong. It's R-E, not E-R. Anyway, sorry. A stickler. If you're going to make a video about Victoria, you have to spell things the Victorian way.
Whispers that never died.
Ooh.
Tonight, we'll walk
Swanson
into the
Street.
heart of Victoria. 10 places where the line between past and present bends. And the restless dead are said to wander still.
Ooh.
If you listen closely.
I mean, to be fair, like, everybody in the Melbourne CBD is like chuffing. My friend from Western Sydney, who lives on the Gold Coast now, my best friend, she was down here last year or the year before, and she was just like, wow, it smells so much. She's like, does everyone just chuff here? And I'm like, yeah. Since like they made like medical marijuana legal, everybody just chuffs out in the open and the police don't do anything. She couldn't believe it. So everybody just walks around like zombies in Victoria anyway. Everybody is like off their tits. So it is basically kind of like you woke up in 28 days later. Everyone's just a freaking zombie. Freaking zombie walking around. Zombie, 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 it's in your head. Sorry, Dolores, I'm butchering your song. Rest in peace.
Yours. 9. Princess Theatre, Melbourne.
Oh, he spelt it right.
Victoria. The grand chandeliers of Melbourne's Princess Theatre.
I'm just going to say, for the benefit of the tape, every time he says Melbourne, I'm going to get angry. I'm going to scream internally and probably externally. That's a pet peeve. It's Melbourne. Or Melbourne. People in Melbourne say Melbourne, but I'm not from Melbourne, so I say Melbourne. Are you with me, guys? For some reason, Victorians mix up their A's and their E's. So where there's an A, they say E. Where there's an E, they say A. Like if your name's Ali, they'll call you Ellie. And if your name's Aaron, they'll call you Aaron. And they'll call you Aaron if your name's Aaron. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's all the chuff. Maybe it's fetal alcohol syndrome. I don't know what's going on. I'm not here to judge. I'm not your mom. But like, he lifted it from the wiki. He did. And you know what? That's exactly what I'm going to do now that I have a computer that works. I'm just gonna be out here churning content like a freaking mofo. You know what? He probably watched one of those courses on how to generate AI content to like get a YouTube channel.
Nothing could disturb the elegance of its velvet-draped balconies. But the audience here is never truly alone. In 1888, a famed baritone named Frederick Federici collapsed of a heart attack during the final act of Faust. He was lowered beneath the stage on a trapdoor, only to vanish from life forever.
Oh no, not life.
He still appeared for the curtain call that night, smiling beside them before fading like smoke. Since then, performers and staff whisper of his presence, the so-called Federici ghost. They feel a hand on their shoulder in the wings, or catch a suited gentleman.
That's assault, brother. You can't just touch people because you're a ghost.
Show he attends, but others feel a chill when they hear his unseen footsteps pacing backstage. Would you dare sing beneath the same chandelier?
Probably not, just because I can't sing. If I, however, was octavely gifted, I would perhaps sing. And if a ghost tried to steal my thunder, you're getting exercised, mate. All right, you are getting exercised. Oh, my friends came down from Sydney to see this play. They were like, "Do you want to go?" And I was like, "No," because I'm an adult woman, and I'm a Lord of the Rings fan, like a real cool person, unlike you posers. I'm a based Tolkien enjoyer. Some might say I am a Tolkien enjoyer, and those people would be correct.
An eternal spectator watches every note. 8. Aradale, Lunatic Asylum.
Oh.
Ararat, Victoria.
Ararat. It's Ararat. Oh my fucking god. What did he say? Dude. No. Stop. Get some help.
Tastes of rust in Ararat, where a sprawling asylum dominates the hilltop. Aradale, opened in 1867, once held more than 13,000 patients across its grim history. It was a place where shadows never left the criminally insane, housed beside the
most objects cast shadows.
Brutal.
I don't think that's
enforced by locked doors.
I don't think that's exclusive to mental patients, mate, but okay.
The asylum stands like a city of ghosts. Visitors on tours
and I don't want the world to see me. Oh, that's City of Angels.
Icy hands brushing against theirs in empty wards. In the women's wing, a figure in white has been seen gliding through the hall.
Why are they always in white?
In the morgue,
ooh, that scared me.
Bodies pass.
How dare you?
Cameras refuse to work. Batteries drained dry as though the dead still demand their space. Some swear they've heard doctors whispering in empty offices, their voices low and urgent, as though still debating treatments decades after the asylum closed. If walls could remember pain, these walls would never rest. And neither, it seems, do the souls trapped inside. 7. The old Melbourne jail.
I went here when my parents came to visit me. I took them to Melbourne jail because they wanted to go. Usually, like, I don't really do tourist things, but yeah, I took them to old Melbourne jail, and we saw Ned Kelly's death mask, and we also saw, did he spell jail the American way or the proper way? I don't know, but I can see you are writing jail in chat the correct way with a G, an A, a O, and an L, and we do appreciate that. We do appreciate that. But yeah, that is where Ned Kelly was kept and hung. So we do, I hear Ned Kelly was hung, and he was hung, if you know what I'm saying. There's nothing hotter than a bushranger. Gotta say, I do like a bad boy. Rawr, rawr. All right, let's continue.
Stone walls rise heavy and suffocating in the old Melbourne jail, a place where death was more certain than freedom. Built in the mid-1800s, this prison became infamous as the site where 133 people were executed, including Australia's most legendary outlaw, Ned Kelly,
What?
His final words,
Such is life.
still seem to echo in the gallows. But
It was
visitors
such is
today
life.
report more than echoes. Guards and tourists alike feel cold hands brush against them in empty corridors, or hear chains rattling when no one walks the halls. The air here carries a metallic tang, as though iron bars and blood have seeped into the stone itself.
You do wank on a bit, mate.
Shadows loom larger than the figures that cast them, and some have sworn they saw Kelly himself, a tall figure with a bearded face glowering from behind the bars before vanishing. Even seasoned paranormal investigators admit the jail resists silence. Electronic devices spark to life with phantom voices, some crying, some laughing in a cruel rasp. You can walk its corridors as a visitor, but the jail has a way of making you feel like an inmate still awaiting judgment. 6. The Athenaeum Theatre, Melbourne, Victoria. Amid Melbourne's bustling Collins Street stands the Athenaeum Theatre, where velvet curtains sway and golden balconies gleam. Yet behind its beauty, there lingers something far older than applause. Staff have long reported the figure of a woman in a long gown, drifting silently across the upper galleries. Her face is pale, her eyes hollow, and she vanishes as quickly as she appears. Some believe she was once a patron who collapsed during a performance in the early 1900s, her spirit returning night after night.
Yeah, because she didn't get her money's worth.
Others claim
I'd be pissed off if I didn't get to see the show I paid for.
a ghost from an even earlier structure that stood here before the theater was raised. Actors rehearse under the uneasy weight of her unseen eyes.
A whispering eye.
Has refused to work alone backstage after midnight. What chills most is the silence that follows her. No footsteps, no breath, no sound at all.
Well, she's not
As
real.
though the
How would she
theater
have
itself is
footsteps?
holding its voice in deference to the dead.
Indifferent?
Would you dare sit alone in the dark, waiting for the curtain to rise, if you knew a ghost might already be in the seat beside you?
I'd be like, did you pay for that, love?
The
Bugger
Altona
off.
Homestead, Altona.
Ooh, Altona! Shout out to
Closer Melbourne's
Altona.
lakefront,
Doof,
the
doof,
Altona
doof, doof,
Homestead
doof.
looks almost quaint. A colonial building with
In the
whitewashed
city,
walls
in the
and
suburb,
glass.
just east of Altona, Williamstown, there is a house that I walk past that is definitely got some juju vibes. It's definitely got like there's definitely something that chills your bones when you walk past a certain house in Williamstown, which is, you know, not far from here. Just this road here, you just go this way. Doo, 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 doo. And it's along like the Port Phillip Bay? Yeah, that's what it's called. I know stuff.
At verandas. But when darkness falls, the house reveals its true nature. Built in the mid-1800s, it was home to the Langhorne family. And later,
Langhorne?
the site of countless
Oh, I know
funerals
this house.
held within its very rooms. Visitors describe shadows moving independently of their owners, cold drafts sweeping through sealed hallways, and children's laughter ringing in empty corners.
Not children's
One of
laughter.
the most frequent apparitions
I hate
is
happy
that of a young
children.
woman in period dress, often glimpsed in the dining room,
Oh, Moreton Bay
gazing
figs.
out toward the bay, as if waiting for someone who never returned. Paranormal investigators have
This is the
captured
same footage from the
unexplained voices.
asylum. I thought this was the Ararat Asylum. This is the exact thing you said where the doctors were still whispering. I remember because that happened like 2 minutes ago. Why are you lying to me, sir? Why are you lying to me?
Soft cries, urgent whispers echoing from the upstairs bedrooms. During community events, locals sometimes feel their chairs pulled back, as though unseen guests demand their place at the table. And in the dead of night, when the homestead is locked, security guards have sworn they saw lights flicker on inside, only to vanish when they stepped through the door. Here, history clings like
Oh,
a
that's
shadow.
some nice
The
china.
homestead seems determined never to be empty.
Willow print. I want that China set.
Beechworth Lunatic Asylum.
That's not nice.
Victoria. In the quiet town of Beechworth, mist settles over the ruins of one of Victoria's most notorious asylums. Opened in 1867, the Beechworth Lunatic Asylum operated for more than a century, housing thousands of patients, many against their will. Treatments were brutal, with electroshock therapy, isolation, and the cruel reality that it took only 2 signatures to commit someone here, but 8 to release them. The asylum closed in 1995, but the echoes of its past refused to fade. Guides and visitors alike speak of apparitions in the courtyards and along the echoing hallways. A woman in a long flowing gown is often seen.
There are so many people suffering from acute psychosis just wandering around now because they've closed down all these facilities. They should have never been closed. They should have never been closed. It's so hard. Like I have a sibling who suffers with paranoid schizophrenia, and it was so hard to get him help. He was a danger to himself. He was a danger to society at large, and it was so hard. It took years of tears and trying. And you know, I'm a trained social worker. I'm a qualified social worker that has experience in navigating the mental health system, and it was even hard for me to get him help. Eventually, we were able to get him on a medication that worked and that he responded to, and we were able to get him into supported living, but it was a struggle. But the fact that these places are closed down, these beautiful places just going to waste. Recently, a pregnant woman and her partner were murdered in their flat in southeast Melbourne by an acutely psychotic schizophrenic man, and the husband's head was put on a spike. This is what happens when we don't hospitalize people that need to be hospitalized. Make it cheap apartments, you'd live there. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Look, it's nothing some frankincense and a priest can't fix. It's nothing some frankincense. I know people are all about white sage, and apparently First Nation American people don't like non-native American people using white sage, but frankincense is way more powerful. Frankincense resin on a charcoal disc, or dragon's blood resin on a charcoal disc. I put both because it smells really good. Say the Lord's Prayer, walk around, there you go. Whenever I move somewhere, I always do that. It's effective. It's effective and it's biblical, and I feel super goth when I do it. So, you know, we do like that. It's very goth. But yeah, I don't know, the government spends all this money on mental health, but it's only for like sexy mental health, like, you know, people suffering with depression. But it's more society that's making people depressed. It's not like a mental health crisis in the true sense, right? It's just people feel disconnected. Yeah, it is sexy mental health because there's no funding for people that are actually suffering from psychotic illnesses and are a danger to themselves and are a danger to the public at large. It's so hard to get them hospitalized. It's so hard to get them help. It's so hard to get anything actioned. It's so incredibly hard, and it's so incredibly heartbreaking. I had my brother down in Melbourne for a year just trying to get him help, getting him diagnosed. And then it took another 2 years to find a medication that worked for him. And in that time, he was just hurting himself, hurting other people, hurting everyone around him. It's horrible. It's horrible. And lucky, you know, he never hurt anyone physically. He definitely hurt me emotionally. He said some really horrific things to me. And, you know, it's probably irreparably damaged our relationship, and we used to be incredibly close. It's very sad. It's, you know, I don't know. We need to do something. We need to do something. Like, where is all this mental health funding going to? It's going to raising awareness of depression. Okay. Cool. Who is that helping? Well, I'm aware that everyone's depressed. Are you okay? Exactly. It's such fucking bullshit.
Face pressed against the glass, watching those who enter. In the chapel, disembodied voices murmur hymns in the dark. And in the hospital wing, Footsteps follow guests down empty corridors, stopping only when the lights are switched off. Some say the most chilling sight is that of Matron Sharp, a stern but protective figure who still patrols the grounds. Witnesses describe her as both comforting and terrifying, depending on where she appears. The asylum may be abandoned, but here, the walls breathe with memories, and the patients never truly checked out. 3. Point Cook Homestead, Point Cook,
Point Cook!
Victoria. By day, Point Cook Homestead looks like a picturesque relic of colonial life, standing by the windswept coastline where the land meets the sea. By night, it becomes something far more unsettling. Built in the mid-1850s by the Churnside family, the estate carries with it both grandeur and tragedy. Thomas Churnside, one of the brothers, ended his life here in 1887, and locals believe his restless soul still roams the grounds. Visitors on ghost tours recount hearing heavy footsteps echoing through the homestead, only to find the rooms empty. Cold spots bloom in the middle of the hallway, accompanied by the distinct scent of cigar smoke, a habit Thomas was known for. In the stables, horses have been heard snorting and stamping long after the animals were removed, as if unseen riders are still mounting for a midnight departure. But the most unnerving reports come from the homestead's darkened bedrooms. Guests describe waking to see shadowy figures at the foot of the bed, watching in silence. Others have heard weeping coming from locked rooms, the sound fading into the roar of the sea. At Point Cook,
G'day, Celery Dave. Good to see you.
it feels as though the ocean itself carries the dead back to shore, depositing them at the gates of the homestead they can never leave. 2. Cape Otway Light Station, Great Ocean Road, Victoria. The coastline of Victoria is jagged.
I've been here when I was on my way to the 12 Apostles. I went to the 12 Apostles and I needed to wee so badly and the toilets were shut. I had to wee in the bush. That's my story. I had a bush wee. You know, I'm used to having bush wees, but there were like a lot of like tourists around and I was like, oh God, gotta have a bush wee because I really need to wee and I don't want to get a UTI. I think it is the round the twist one. Have you ever felt like this? Have strange things happen? Are you going round the twist? Yeah.
Where countless ships met their end. At Cape Otway, the lighthouse has stood since 1848, guiding sailors away from the rocks. Yet even with its beam, more than 200 wrecks scar the waters nearby.
Well, what a shit lighthouse then. It wasn't frickin' doing its job if cunts couldn't see it.
Those who never made it ashore are said to still wander here, their souls bound to the cliffs and the light that failed them. Visitors speak of ghostly figures appearing along the cliff edge, pale sailors who vanish when approached. Inside the lighthouse, staff have reported hearing doors slam and heavy boots on the spiral stairs, though no one else is there. The cottages nearby are even more disturbing. Some guests have woken to find a figure standing silently in their room, only for it to fade as the lighthouse beam sweeps across. The most chilling tales come from those who walk the grounds alone. They describe whispers carried on the wind, voices speaking in languages they don't recognize, possibly the drowned tongues of sailors, long gone. On stormy nights, the sea crashes like thunder against
I didn't know sailors had a special language that only sailors spoke, but okay, sure.
the rocks, and the lighthouse feels less like a beacon of safety and more like a tombstone for the lost. 1. The Blackwood Hotel,
Ooh.
Blackwood, Victoria.
Well, one would
In
assume
the small
so.
mining town of Blackwood stands a weathered pub, the Blackwood Hotel. Its timber bones dating back to the 1860s. To passing travelers, it's just another country hotel, but the locals know better. Beneath its rustic charm lies a history steeped in the lawless days of the gold rush, when fights, betrayals, and sudden deaths.
But at least you can get a pint of Carlton Draft, and that's the only thing that matters. That's all I care about. Is it haunted? Whatever. Can I get a beer? Yes. Okay, well then it's a pub, you know? It's a pub. If it's got beer, it's a pub.
Guests report glasses shattering on their own, lights flickering wildly.
Yeah, because a drunk can't drop their glass.
Across the floor without a hand to move them. But it's the apparitions that give the hotel its reputation. A shadowy man in a wide-brimmed hat is often seen leaning in the corner of the bar, his face obscured, watching until the observer blinks, and he's gone. Upstairs, the spirit of a young girl has been seen darting across the hallway, giggling softly before vanishing into locked rooms. Some visitors refuse to stay the night after encountering the oppressive silence that descends without warning, as though the pub itself is holding its breath. The bravest whisper of waking in the dark.
This looks like a good place to go gold fossicking because it's like quite dense. And if there is still some nugnugs that haven't been discovered yet, like people don't like bush bashing, but I'm quite partial to a bush bash. And people have still been finding sizable chunks of gold in the Golden Triangle. What's up, Panda Lady? Not much. We're just looking at some ghost stories. It's a little arcade in the mountain. They love their stories. Yeah, mountain people do like their stories. Yeah, I'm gonna go there and find some gold. I need money. I want money. Some guy found like a $600,000 gold nugget, like not far out of Ballarat a few years ago. So, you know, there's still gold out there. There's still gold in dem hills, and I need gold because I can sell it and get monies. So that's what I want. Money, money.
Cold, unmoving, and gone the moment they turn on the light. In Blackwood, shadows don't just linger, they wait. That's all for today. If you enjoyed this chilling journey, don't forget to like, comment with your favorite haunted location, and subscribe for more weekly videos from the shadows.
I'm gonna do my own haunted location where I've actually been, and this place is actually haunted. I just thought of it. I'm doing my own. This is the oldest building in the Blue Mountains, situated in the central mid-mountains. It's called the Heart of the Blue Mountains because it's smack bang in the middle, wood-fed. And this is the oldest building in the Blue Mountains. I think I already said that. You can tell this isn't prepped, can't you? And it's haunted as fuck. Especially the attic, if you go and do a tour there. It is under the National Trust, so you do have to pay a small entry fee. I have no idea how much it is. Me and my friend went there when we were kind of day drinking, so I don't remember, you know, I was drunk. And my friend lives around the corner from here. Well, she doesn't anymore. Her parents live around the corner from here still. Woodford Academy. See guys, I'm doing a presentation. I feel like I'm back at school. Located on Darug and Gundagara country in Woodford, New South Wales. Woodford Academy is the oldest complex of colonial buildings in the Blue Mountains, with a multi-layered history stretching back to the 1830s. Oh, the Fairfax family used to own these. You know, like the Fairfax family that own all the newspapers, like the media Fairfax family, they used to own this. Visitors can enjoy the spectacular sandstone buildings, step inside historic rooms, and hear the stories of Woodford Academy's many lives as gentlemen's residents, boarding school, and most recently, home to a rare 17th century Dutch master painting discovered in the artwork collection. Oh, they found an expensive painting there. I wish I had found that. I would have stolen it because I am a thief and I want stuff. Highlights. Take a trip back in time at this historic attraction in the Blue Mountains. During your visit, you'll enjoy original sandstone buildings with a rich history dating back to the 1830s, stories from the site's indigenous past, as well as Woodford Academy's intriguing history as a guest house and boarding school. A peek inside yesteryear classrooms with original school rooms and desks. Art events, performances, and talks on monthly open days. Anyway, What did Fairfax, what did they do with it? I think they just lived there. I think they just had it as a holiday home because the Great Western Highway used to be called Old Bathurst Road, or I guess it was just called Bathurst Road because it wasn't old yet. And yeah, they just used to travel up. A lot of rich people used to have like just holiday estates up in the Blue Mountains. A lot of the older ones burnt down because obviously, for those of you that don't know, the Blue Mountains a few hours west of Sydney is the most fire-prone place on the planet because of its geology and a combination of the geology and the trees that grow there. Obviously, it's full of like very flammable trees. It's turpentines, it's eucalypts. And yeah, obviously the fire is going up the mountain's heat as they move up the mountain, and it just creates like huge fireballs. So it's basically on fire every year. In winter, everything smells like fire because the hot boys at the RFS, the Rural Fire Service, the absolute legends that they are, mostly volunteers, are doing prescribed burns. Yeah, so a lot of the older homesteads up there have like burnt down. There's still, there's still a lot of old buildings, but a lot of, it's just a very fiery type of place. Built originally as an inn in the 1830s, the collection of buildings has operated over the years as a gentleman's residence, guest house, boarding house from 1907 to 1936, under the ownership of John Manamy. As an exclusive school, Woodford Academy. In 2022, a rare 17th century Dutch master painting was also discovered in Woodford's artwork collection. Dude, that's amazing. I want a rare painting. How much is it worth? Tell me. Bequeathed to the National Trust in 1979 by John McAnamy's sole surviving daughter Gertrude. That's a cool name. I want my name to be Gertrude. The Woodford Academy is today a museum that offers a unique glimpse of colonial life in the Blue Mountains. Woodford Academy is located, it's on the Great Western Highway in Woodford. You can't really miss it. Don't need to say. Can I bring my pet? No, you can't. Were you dropped in the head as a child? Anyway, these are some pictures of Woodford Academy. So I'll tell you what happened when I went there with my friend. So like I said, my friend's parents' house lived around there. They'd gone away, so we were being teenagers, doing teenage things, doing some well, it's haunted by quite a few people, Hyperborean. It's haunted by quite a few people. It was built using convict labor, and quite a few convicts died from, overexertion during its construction. As well, it was a boarding house. I believe it was a boarding house for young women. So they were taking, 2 hours away, well, longer than that because they went by horse and carriage, probably like a 5-hour horse and carriage ride from Sydney. And they were taken there. And I'll tell you what me and my friend saw. So me and my friend, we did the tour there. I think it was about 3 p.m. in the afternoon. We were looking around, we were looking at all the buildings. And anyway, we went up to the attic. And we both saw at the window of the attic. You know how attics have like that little gabled window that they typically have where the window is? We both just sort of turned. We felt like both sort of compelled to turn and look at the window. We turned and looked at the window, and we saw like this weird undulation of purple and bluish light, and it looked like a girl. Do you know the Cure film clip for Charlotte Sometimes? It's like Victorian schoolgirl, Victorian as in the era, not the place. Yeah, we saw something that looked, akin to a Victorian era schoolgirl, but made out of purple and blue light. So that was creepy, and we told each other independently. I was like, oh, did you see anything in the attic? And she was like, yeah, what did you see? And then we sort of compared notes, but it was, we were both very quiet and very pale when we got out of there. But that's who really knows? There's a lot of convict trauma in because the people that were originally brought to the colony of New South Wales, a lot of them were worked to death, right? A lot of them were worked to death because they didn't really have any rights. So yeah, there's a lot of eeriness around there. It's a bit spoopy, but who knows? We were drunk. Maybe we just imagined a ghost girl. It's you know, we could have. We were drunk teenagers. It's not outside the realm of possibility that you know, that you could just imagine. But yeah, it's a very nice building. It's very pretty. And yeah, that's it really. That is it. Just hanging out by the window? Yeah, pretty much. It definitely is something that like stands out in my mind as it being haunted. The Blue Mountains seem really haunted. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of like indigenous juju out there as well. Like there's definitely seems to be like a lot of indigenous spiritual activity out there as well. And it just in general like attracts people that like practice like witchcraft, and there's a lot of cults there. It's very known for its cults. Every little village along the Blue Mountains like has like some type of witchcraft shop or like some type of like wannabe shaman freaking doing God knows what. There's a lot of weirdos up there, man. There's a lot of fucking weirdos up there, I will say. Is there a mental asylum there too? Yeah, there's a really beautiful old Victorian mental and drowned towns. Yeah, they drowned a town there to make Warragamba Dam, which supplies most of Sydney's water. Queen Victoria Sanatorium and Hospital. There we go. This is somewhere that yeah, there's all graffiti in there. This is something where all teenagers we used to go here and like dare each other to go in and like all of that stuff. I never would. I'm not if that place is haunted, like it's obviously a place of like deep pain. I'm not going in there. Because some of those archaic treatments for mental health are terrifying, and I don't be messing with that stuff. But yeah, this is the old mental hospital in Wentworth Falls. Queen Victoria Sanatorium and Hospital. Unsafe, do not trespass. The caretaker will call the police. Asbestos everywhere. Oh, I wonder if any of the dickheads I was mates with back in the day have like asbestosis or mesothelioma, whatever that thing's called. Asbestos disease. The Bodderton Red Cross Sanatorium, Wentworth Falls, New South Wales. For early stage tuberculosis patients. Oh, there you go. People, mesothelioma. That's what I was trying to say. The original house on the property was built for Kelso King. Knighted in 1929, a prominent Sydney businessman with fingers in many corporate pies. Ooh, kinky. Such as insurance, banking, pastoralism, mining, and coastal shipping. Around 1890, King and his first wife, Irene... Oh, I know someone who's related. I know someone who's a member of the King family. I think I told you one time this, like, private school kid was, like... who's like friends with my dad, who was always hitting on me. He's a member of that family. He inherited like half of the Blue Mountains. That's why my mum was always trying to get me to go on a date with him, and he was weird and he had soft hands. He shook my hand and it was like soft and limp. And I'm like, no, can't deal with that. I didn't know that they owned that. There you go. Around 1890, King and his first wife, Irene Rand, acquired the land, which laid mostly on the tableland, but included part of Kadumba Walls and Kadumba Valley below. The Kings built a country retreat on this relative remote spot, perhaps encouraged by the King's Tableland. Yeah, apparently it is very haunted. Apparently a lot of people say that they see stuff there. I've just never personally gone there because why would I go to somewhere that's supposed to be haunted? Like, that just